right, got our IDM back from Diesel Technology of Chattanooga. We're going to install it, gonna do a injector buzz test, make sure everything's right. We're going to fire it up with the renewed old IDM. That little wire clip. Didn't get me that time. I got it. Good. I think I might send another IDM up there and get it built with the extra voltage to put in my personal truck. Alright, remember that bottom one we don't need to take all the way out, just loosen it up. IDM just kind of sits on it. And there's that test unit that we keep around the shop. Let's get this rebuilt one in here. Uh-oh, that ain't cool. I'm about to go fishing. Where did it land? That is uncool. Found one of the hold down bolts. Yay. There's my IDM bolt. Alright, tighten this puppy up. It's hooked back up. Don't go crazy on that wire connector. They will break. Now I'm going to try something. Take care of this air filter that no longer filters because the top's broken. Back in the day, this used to be a big mod that everybody did. I don't do it anymore. I use the S&B intake. But this air filter is better than no air filter at all, which is essentially what he's got. This air filter is easy enough to figure out. Just Google Napa 7.3 air filter mod, and this is what will come up. I have since learned that this filter really doesn't do that great a job as far as performance. It does filter the air, but KC Turbo did some dyno testing, and if you go look that up on YouTube, you'll find that a factory filter actually performs better than this Napa modified filter. Now, of course, the S&B filter, the world's better than both of them, but this is better than no filter at all, which is essentially what we had. All right, let me get set up with a computer and we're going to buzz test this thing. All right, let's do some diagnostics. Heavy duty. Nope, we want automotive. Now there's a lot of different diagnostic computers that will do this. You don't have to have a $7,000 Matco unit, but this unit does not only cars and pickup trucks, but it also does tractor trailers and equipment. So we mainly work on tractor trailers here, so we need something that'll do tractor trailers. I do keep the automotive updated on this because we do work on diesel pickup trucks now and then. And much like all diagnostic computers, they're slow as rip. Let's see if it'll auto search. I think it did the other day. Yep, okay. 19 and 96. Let's do it. We want to enter the PCM. It's funny hooking one of these older trucks up to it. There's one, maybe 2 units. You hook up a new truck, there's 15, 20 different modules in them. All right, this one. Injector electrical self-test, otherwise known as a buzz test. System normal. All right. So the new IDM is fully functional. All the injectors buzzed. Now it's time to start this puppy up. All right, if you remember the other day, we can't use the key. Pretty sure because the bushings in the clutch and brake pedal shafts are messed up. I do believe that's why it won't go into gear and shift gears easily. So we've got our handy dandy jump button hooked to the solenoid on the fender well. Alright, what I just did there was an engine running test. Come up with a one code here, exhaust pressure control valve fault. Not really worried about that. Down here in Georgia, the exhaust valve on the end of the turbo, it's only there to help warm the engine up in extreme cold. Tim Johnson's truck, yeah, I could see having it up there in Alaska. Down here, not really needed. Matter of fact, you buy a turbo, say from KC, an aftermarket turbo, it no longer even has the valve in it. And a cheap performance upgrade is actually to take that valve off the turbo and eliminate it. Well, today we're back on that 96 Ford Dually, and we're going to try to install clutch pedal and brake pedal rod or shaft bushings. You might have remembered when I fired this up the other day and drove it around, the clutch was grinding. Clutch and brake pedal bushings are shot, need to be replaced, and that's what we're going to do today. First thing we got to do is unplug the brake light switch, and way up here got to unplug the harness to the clutch switch. That's what prevents the engine from starting when you don't have the clutch pushed in. All right, got the switches unplugged. I actually got the brake light switch completely removed out of our way. Got the brake master cylinder off the pedal. Got the clutch pedal off the master cylinder for the clutch. Now we're going to go outside under the hood. We're going to unbolt the clutch master. Hopefully pull it through with the switch intact. Screwing with that switch is a pain in the butt and liable to mess it up. We don't want to do that. After we get that clutch master out of the way, because those two studs go all the way through the firewall and help hold this whole bracket assembly. Then we got to come back, get these 4 bolts, undo the steering column, pull the brake master out and up underneath the hood a bit, clear them studs, and we should be able to get this whole pedal assembly out of here so that we can replace the bushings. First thing I'm going to do is get this makeshift air filter assembly out of the way. Now we're going to get the bolts off this clutch master cylinder. Maybe. Nothing like a vehicle sitting up for years. All the threads getting rusted. And of course, Ford didn't make this to where you could really get on there with an impact wrench. This bottom one I could. By the time I go and get it, grab the extension and the wobble socket. I would have already had it off of here. Maybe. Almost finger tight. Now we're finger tight. All right. Clutch master is out of the way. Let me bring y'all around here a little bit better. There we go. All right, 2 studs come through the plate. Part of that bracket that we got to pull out. Now let's go get this puppy unbolted. All right, another little tip for you do-it-yourselfers at home. Anytime you get a steering wheel, got controls in it. Inside here is going to be what they call a clock spring. We're going to be disconnecting the steering shaft. You do not want to turn this wheel with that steering shaft disconnected. If it doesn't go back in the same exact way it came out, you could damage that clock spring, and you're in for a world of hurt fixing it. So, easy enough. We have seat belted the steering wheel so that we will go back exactly where we pull it out from. Well, got the steering shaft disconnected from up here. It's keyed. It'll only go in one way. But while it's disconnected, you do not want to turn that steering wheel. All right, now we're going to go after our 4 bolts up here. And then there's 2 more bolts up top. Let's see if I can see them. Yep, those 2 10mm headed bolts got to come out. Then the 4 bolts back there. Then we should be able to pull this puppy out of here. All righty. Well, we got all that loose. Now we're going to go underneath the hood, pull the power or the brake booster and the brake master cylinder out through the firewall and pull that monster out of here. I sure hope there's enough slack and this thing don't fight me too bad. I want to unplug these connectors. There's a little more slack to work with. All right. Let's see what happens. Alrighty, got it. Good deal. All right, not really a good place to set the camera for great views, but let's see how much of this might make it onto the footage. How bad am I gonna be cussing? That's the next thing. Oh yeah, come on, baby. You want to come out of there, don't you? Spring this pedal back up. Maybe that'll help. I've done this before, but it's been a long time. There we go. There we go. All right. Got it out. Now let's get to the workbench and see how bad it is. All right, with the pedal assembly out, there's our bushings. Don't waste your time pulling that bolt or that nut off on the pedal side. Just leave it alone. Pull this nut off, then that lever, pop your spring off, then the whole thing will slide out the side. Well, let's get to it. By the way, this lever is not keyed. It is splined and you can put it on wrong. But it pretty much goes in line with the clutch pedal. Got it. worked. Personally, I don't think that's one of Ford's better ideas. Alrighty. Then I'm going to go clean this shaft up right quick. Little wire wheel action. Smooth it out, and we'll put this thing back together. Well, I could have taken it to the wire wheel on the bench grinder, but a lot of you do-it-yourselfers don't have that at home. But you do have a cheap box store drill and a wire wheel. Hopefully a vise. Alright, find me a rag, wipe that down. Well, I'm too lazy to go look for some brake cleans, so we're just going to use a little bit of starting fluid. I love this stuff. Good stuff. Alright, let's see if we can remember how to put all these bushings and crap back together. One other thing. Thankfully, this ain't all wallered out, but I've seen these bushings get so bad that you get metal on metal and waller out these holes. This side, Ford decided it was a good idea to put reinforcement. This side, just old thin sheet metal. If yours is wallered out, you can weld this up, use like a carbide burr bit, get the hole back round so you can fit your bushing back in it. Thankfully, this one we caught before it got to that point. All right, that one will go there. This one will go over here. This one will go here. Fall, why don't you? All right, yeah, there ain't gonna be no more play in that shaft. It's gonna rotate, and that's it. And we done pushed that bushing out again. Get your butt back in the hole. There we are. All right. See the wear on that. So, I think this is going to eventually get that Heim joint kit. So what I'm going to do for now, throw this on my milling machine, fancy drill press, knock a hole through here, I can put a cotter pin in, then put what's left of that bushing on there, then a washer, then a cotter pin. And when we get that kit, Heim joint kit, we can go ahead and put that in. Well, I don't know if this is going to work, but I've decided since the plastic bushing is wasted, I don't have another one tonight. Found a piece of scrap aluminum. I'm going to turn a bushing, put over that for now, and get this thing put back together. A little bit more. getting close. Very thin bushing. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it before I build it. I apologize. I know I was trying to do this for the backyard do-it-yourselfers, and I understand that most do-it-yourselfers in the backyard don't have a lathe. You'll have to go buy a bushing. All right, well, the outside diameter is fine. We need to go a little bit deeper with this hole. I actually could have left the wall thickness just a little bit bigger. Fits just fine in there, a little on the loose side, but it is what it is. Reckon I could have made it out of steel. Probably wouldn't have hurt a darn thing because that rod's a little messed up. Do this without tearing anything up. Got our little bushing. Well, it has gotten dark out here, and my bushing popped out when I was tightening the nut. That ain't good. There we go. All right. Try that again. That's all she got. Alright, on this stud, what I'm going to do here, see if there's enough light without my flashlight. Yeah, pretty much is. Sort of, kind of. Put a washer, then an E-clip, and that should hold it until we get that aftermarket Heim joint, which is far superior to this freaking stud thing. Another tip for y'all. Them little bolts up top, put them in before you try to put your brake booster back in, and that'll line all your holes up. If not, you'll be doing a lot of cussing, griping, throwing tools. Ask me how I know. Well, now that we got the clutch and brake pedal bushings replaced, it does something it hasn't done since we've had this truck. That's right, push in clutch pedal, turn the key. Come on, wait to start. It started. Finally got a little rain, get this junk off the windshield. It actually shifts good now too. Yeah, very nice. Another job well done. So if you're having problems with your shifting, having problems with it don't want to start, key won't engage the starter, check out them shift bushings. Well, shift with clutch shaft bushings. What are you doing? Don't even think about using me as a target. You know where the steps are at. You go over there and come down those steps. Uh-huh.